Hi everyone. I'm going to practice one pile of hay with Pericles and see how he does with this exercise using hay. Now you've already seen in the program introducing food without food in a bucket and introducing food with food in a bucket. One pile of hay is a very similar exercise. The difference is we're using hay instead of a bucket of carrots. So depending on what type of hay you use and what your horse likes best, this could be an exercise that he doesn't really care about coming back to the hay. He might go away and say, I don't really care about hay. Whereas with introducing food with food in the bucket and carrots are in there, he might be a little more interested in running to the carrot bucket. But I want to demonstrate this for you so that you can see that you can just use hay if you don't want to introduce carrots to your horse or anything like that. So I have never done this exercise with Pericles before. We practiced introducing food without and with food in the bucket with him twice, and he was pretty good. Not, fantastic, but he's new at it, and he's a new horse to us. So I'm going to see how he does with a pile of hay in this exercise. So I want to start out by asking him to leave the hay. And then I'm going to line myself up in a place that I could call him up and be in a triangle, just like introducing food with food in the bucket. Good boy. And I'm going to bring him around, and I'm going to come up to the hay. What a nice boy. Wait. Whoa. I'm going to ask him to wait, and then I'm going to bring him up. Come on, head down. I'm going to say, he can have some hay now. That was really nice, wasn't it? He did such a fantastic job of that. I'm so proud of you. This just goes to show you how important developing that bond is before everything else. Because as some of you know, I've been on this journey with Pericles only since about January, and he and I have developed a tremendous, deep, soul-connected bond. And this bond is unlike anything that I've ever experienced before, and it is like a one-minded consciousness. And it transcends everything else kind of that's going around when we're together. It might sound a little woo-woo, but the truth of the matter is, it's the reason that he would move off the hay like that, come to me and let me walk back with him, because he trusts me and he knows he can follow my lead. He's extremely bonded to me. He feels safe with me, and he knows he's always going to end up with a good deal with me. So I'm never going to move him off of food and not bring him back or do anything that would disrupt the bond. If I had a problem with the exercise, I would go back to finding my entry point of connection, and that means, what can I do with my horse where I'll get a yes? That's where I'm going to go, because I'm not going to ruin the bond that I have with my horse fighting over an exercise in a program that I feel I need to check off my list. So I want you all to keep that in mind when you're doing these exercises, that you want to do exercises that are going to keep you in connection with your horse. And this exercise is one of the exercises in this sharing territory part of the program, which is about developing social skills and bonding over food. So how nice is that he would feel comfortable enough to move off of that food. And it also makes me feel safe around my horse, because I know at any time I ask him to move that he will move off the food. Now, it gets a little different with him when it's carrots or when it's maybe his mash. I'm sure he would put up a little bit more of a fuss for that stuff, but this is perfect. And this one pile of hay exercise is a really good place for you to start if you feel that your horse is fighting you over the carrots and you think he would be softer and calmer about moving away from hay. So I'm going to try that again, okay? I'm going to ask him to move off the hay. I'm going to ask him to stay over away from the hay, and then I'm going to call him up to me again, getting into that triangle. Good. And this time I'm going to ask him to go in the opposite direction of the hay. Because I want to make sure sure that he can stay with me. Oh, oh, wait. Good boy. Go ahead up. I want to make sure that he'll go wherever I go to take him back to the food. So we don't want to get into patterns. We don't want to make it so that every time we're in the same exact place and every time we go the same exact way. We want to make sure that the horse will follow our lead wherever we go. So I'm going to walk away and see if I can move him into another space. Because the camera's here, I'm going to be very mindful of where I move the horse, but I'm just going to see if he will go someplace else. Good boy. Thank you. Come up here. Come here. Come on. Come to me. Good boy. Thank you. And wait. Whoa. Good boy. Okay. You can have it down. Head down. So I think he did fantastic during this exercise, and I'm really happy that it worked out the way it did so that you can see what it's supposed to look like. Later, I'm going to work with a couple other horses and give you an example of a horse that's never done this exercise so that you can see what it might look like for you. So stay tuned for that video. It'll be out shortly.